Unstoppable, unbelievable, impeccable, unflappable, outrageous, stupendous, chosen by God and perfected by science. I'm Ed Zitron, and this is Better Offline's coverage of the Consumer Electronics Show. Better Offline. That's right, we are back for a final 2-hour stretch here in the beautiful Palazzo Hotel in even more beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We've been here all week with an open bar and tacos for journalists to hang out and chat shit about the world's largest technology conference. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for being here as listeners, as guests, for everyone. This has been the best CES yet. There's only been 2, but nevertheless, you don't know how the next one's going to be. But in all seriousness, this has been an incredible, incredible show. We've got 4 more 30-minute blocks and then an epilogue tomorrow. Whew, it's been a lot. Our first quarter lineup is the incredible activist, journalist, and author, Cory Doctorow.
Hello, Ed.
The fantastic writer of the Tech Bubble newsletter, Edward Ongweso Jr.
Hey.
And the wonderful returning champion, Kyle Chouinard of the Las Vegas Sun, local boy.
Hi there.
How you doing, Kyle? How's your show been?
Pretty good. I started with a pre-CES little conference between some Korean companies and Nevada investors and businessmen. And
okay,
so I got to
what happened there?
Well, it was talking about how to bring their products, bring their companies kind of to the American market. And kind of the main point of it was, CES has been here in Las Vegas for so long at this point. Mm-hmm. But Nevada itself, or Las Vegas itself, hasn't always seen the fruits of that.
Right.
Besides the actual, of course, Las Vegas's main market is in tourism and bringing people here, and conventions like this are a big part of that. But actually creating a tech sector here is a relatively newer concept. I think probably following the pandemic and what really just shut down the entire economy.
Wasn't there that failed attempt with Old Vegas, though, with Tony Hsieh and that lot? And Paul Carr
I mean, it's... The recent iteration is newer.
Yes.
I'll say that.
And also that one was very kind of limp.
No
comment.
comment.
Be on it. Yeah.
That one whiskey bar next to the barbecue joint in the mall made out of shipping containers was pretty good.
I didn't see that. That would be great.
Talk about downtown?
Yeah. That was that. There was like one good thing that came.
There's a good coffee shop right there.
You'd think, and why is it that it's so hard to attract companies there? There's like no state tax. Is like the local business tax is high? Like,
no, I mean they've been working on that and kind of promoting the favorable tax regime. I think is probably the best way to put it for companies. It's why a lot of people move from California to here in Nevada.
Yeah.
Same way that we've had that. I mean, Nevada's legislature, there's a push for a dedicated business court similar to what exists in Delaware. Mm-hmm. So we can have companies incorporate here instead of there. Like we recently had friend of the show, Andreessen Horowitz, move to Nevada. So there's been a big push there to kind of, because the pandemic so brazenly showed that if there is an issue with travel, the economy collapses here.
yeah. Well,
It's got quite a race. It feels like the finish line is at the bottom, though.
Yeah.
But wait, so this was a pre-conference to CES,
Yes.
and were there talks and such?
It was kind of fun. It was like a Shark Tank style pitch session from a bunch of these companies. There was one about incorporating some technology into golf clubs that would then analyze your swing. There was another, there was another on it was a pool contaminant analysis machine.
Is this like a pee detector?
No.
Because those, it's not that those are useless, but like those very much exist.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was kind of like
It's not like they were showing off like the cutting edge of
stuff
tech.
to sell to
It was people trying to break into the American market from Asia.
I mean, what Korea really needs to introduce to America, clearly, is hidden cameras in dressing rooms.
Right.
Oh, geez.
They are the world leaders in incredibly misogynistic uses of hidden cameras.
Yeah, Vegas needs more perverts. No,
Yeah.
And fried chicken. And they got some good fried chicken.
And
some more fried chicken.
also rising up in the face of fascism.
Yeah,
that is an export that we would welcome here.
Yeah. Well, just other than all that, have you walked around CES at all?
A lot less actually than last year, I would say. I spent some more time off the showroom floor talking to people, but quite a bit. And I mean, it felt, I think we talked about this last year. I mean, this is my second CES.
Oh.
And last year, I mean, you come into it and it's all this cool stuff that you've never seen before concentrated in one space. And this year, I remember people talking about like, this feels a lot similar to last year. And now that I'm a returning guest, I understand why that feeling existed.
Yeah, it's this kind of echoing. It's very strange this year. Like, it feels like last year, but with less stuff. Like there at least felt like there were some things to look at last year that were like, oh, that's fun. Do I remember them? No, God, no.
I saw a lot of smart picture frames. That was a really big one.
This year?
Yeah.
I saw one that was completely broken. It was made with like e-ink. No, I actually quite liked the idea because I'd only seen them in pictures. And then you see whenever they cycle, kind of like a Kindle, like all e-ink thing, they flash up a thing.
I saw that. Like the Kindle.
Yeah. And it's like, just the static image I'd be okay with, but the moment it cycles, I'd be like, get that shit off my wall. But I like the idea.
You know what you can't see by looking at the gadget itself is the back end. And that's the whole thing, right? Like what is the experience of adding images to it? And my wife just moved overseas. We're living in 2 different continents right now. And our housemate gave her a smart camera for a picture frame for Christmas.
Right.
And we, sort of together conspired to put a bunch of photos in the camera's cloud account so that when she set it up at home overseas, that she would get all these photos preloaded. And it sucked. It just really sucked at importing photos. It wouldn't take native resolution. We had to down-res everything.
Oh, God.
Oh, really? It was like...
Do you remember what brand?
I do not.
I got one for my parents a few years ago, and the app was like Dante's Inferno.
And it was all in an app, right? So like, which is fine if you're out and about taking pictures and you are sending the picture to the frame. But when you're setting up the frame de novo, I have 10,000 photos on my laptop and I wanted to take a subset of them and put them in the frame. And like phones are very bad for that.
Yeah.
I did this elaborate thing where I plugged my phone in, moved 700 photos from my laptop to my phone, then used the app, which only let me select 100 photos at a time to upload the like it was, and none of that is visible, right? You can be on the trade floor and you can be like, this is the most beautiful frame I've ever seen. Yeah. But if it's a giant pain in the ass to get pictures into, who cares?
I will say I was interviewing someone at their home once and they had one in their living room and it changed at one point, or it was either that or they told me it was, I had no idea that it was digital until they told me. Sure. So for the people who are coming into your home who did not see the hassle of getting it, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like a very easy to solve thing. Feels like it should just be like an FTP server with like a photo
or
frame.
As a fallback, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Here's a thing you drag images into.
Yeah, it should be easy, but it isn't. Welcome to CES.
And I just realized I have the app on my phone somewhere.
Oh, hell
so
yeah. Let's find out what it is so we can trash this shit.
So we can name and shame.
Boo.
It was, I don't know, I have too many apps.
Bring back shame to CES.
Slander.
No, it's not.
Come back to me.
It's not.
No. Aura. AURA. Aura.
I thought that was meant to be one of the easy ones too. Jesus.
I'm sure it's very easy if you are sending a photo to it.
That one gets advertised on podcasts.
Yeah,
it's now we're doing Casper mattress of photo frames.
We're anti-stamps.com. We're anti the Aura frame. Don't try and sell me a fucking mattress unless you give me one.
Has stamps.com got a web interface yet? Because it was Windows only.
I got no idea, man. When I need stamps, I go to the post office.
Do you know what? I have a private mailbox where I get my mail because I don't want to give my home address to randos.
Right.
And I gave them a credit card number, and they charge $100 credit at a time. And I walk in with all my parcels, and I'm like, "Here's the parcels." And I walk out again, and I don't have to wait for them to weigh them, and I don't have to wait for them to price them. And I get an emailed receipt. It is so good.
Post office, fucking rules.
Yeah, well, or private mailboxes too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. So Ed, how have you been? How you been doing? How was your last day?
It was good. I got to walk around LVCC, see all the shit gadgets with Cory, and it was really interesting. I mean, the stuff I think that interested us most was like we talked about the devices that seem like, okay, this is a real thing. We want a manufacturer to integrate it into their supply chain so they can scale it up.
Like what?
But you can't get it. Well, chargers. You thought there were some chargers that Cory pointed out that seemed nice. Some cameras that seemed nice. But otherwise, there were just a bunch of devices where it's like, I don't think I'd ever get this hand massager.
That was very fun.
Yeah.
They had the weirdest advertising for that hand massager.
It was a weird little sign that made it look like it was going to eat your hand.
Oh, so it massages your hand.
So it was like the Benny Gesserit thing you stick your hand into. They did have a sign. So it had a sign, right, that said, like, do you dare to put your hand in it? And it had a monster's mouth.
Yeah.
Around the aperture your hand went into. And then when you read the marketing more closely, it was like the virtuous will feel delightful when they put their hand in. And you put your hand in and a sensor detected it, and then it started inflating the little airbags.
I know. It feels like the first step in like cultivating myself.
I just want to be clear though. The thing sucks, but the virtuous will feel delightful is something I'm going to be saying for the rest of my life.
Apparently I'm not name unlocked.
Apparently I'm not virtuous because I felt it and I was like, it kind of just feels like two things are grinding against my hand a little bit.
Clearly not virtuous.
And it's like, hey, if I want that, I'll go to like some packed conference, or I'll come back here on the first day.
Right. Yeah, like it's like if you need to give your hand a massage, you have two of them. I guess if you want to do both at once, it might be a challenge.
You know the amazing safety label that's the two gears with the hand being squished inside of it? That's kind of what I wanted. But in a pleasant way, you know?
Just like an Incredible Machine situation, but with just my hand. Like a cat jumps on the thing and it crushes it. Just a big anvil would be great at the end of this week. Just let me just fall under the... Anyway, but nothing impressive at the end of the day is same old shite.
No. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, we talked about this a little bit also. I feel like, I am of the group that is the wrong group for it because I come into it feeling, I think, disappointed broadly because there's a lot that I would like to see and I don't see it.
Well, what would you like to see?
I would like to see, listen, if someone can make, for example, there's a lot of pitches about AI assistants that can be integrated into your home and make, task management a bit easier, schedule management a bit easier, things like this. I would be open to something that seemed to be doing that. But a lot of the times, when we press them, it's more so like, what if you went on ChatGPT yourself and chose the third best answer for each thing and then integrated that and organized your life around that?
It's,
so it's a lot of times I feel like what I'm actually seeing is not even someone who tried to solve a problem, but someone. They did. The problem they solved was how do I make money off of this, right? Well, that's really what it was.
I'm not a tech person. I'm a local reporter here, but I mean, I feel like, and this is kind of what I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on it. How much of the things on the showroom floor were just like repackaged ChatGPT models into other different packaging?
Actually, it'd be easier to ask how many weren't.
It's deadly. Yes. We need like a cat in the hat where it's not situation for this. And what's funny is
generally surprised by how many were.
Last year, I remember being like, oh, I'm being a cynic, whatever, and sleeping 4 hours every night, so I felt particularly spicy. But people still came in, like journalists came in and were like, oh, I saw some cool shit. Oh, it made me laugh. It was kind of weird, but I enjoyed it. This year, even the gadget reporters who were like, you know what? Not going to be cynical, I'm going to be excited to be here. We're kind of like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't exist. And then the stuff that does exist wasn't very good. And even the companies that usually make stuff that are good, well, they didn't. And also LG was here with a robot. And it's strange because the long-term listeners will know, like, I'm a cynic, whatever. But I want to hear some fun doodads, some fun things. And it's like, not even this year. Like it feels like we're in a depression at CES.
A lot of AI children's toys.
Very horrible.
A lot of AI children's toys.
Evil shit. Like Robert found this one that was like an LLM horoscope Furby creature. That I want to hit with a baseball bat.
I believe I saw that.
Funnily enough, there's a demo for one where you can hit it with a baseball bat.
Yeah, but that's wasn't that the one where Robert had the video and it's just like
dancing like Michael Jackson,
and then you just fucking hit it with sticks. I want to put
and a beer bottle.
I want to do Freebird on top of that. Just fucking beat the rap fuck out of it.
There's an old American children's show called The Andy Devine Show, and there was a character on that show called Froggy who was like a frog, and he was a mischief figure, and he would as Andy Devine was speaking, he would grunt, he would like growl out these subliminal suggestions. I was like, then you put the peanut butter in your hair. Yes, you do. And then Andy Devine would start putting peanut butter in his hair. And every time I see an LLM toy for children, I'm like, eventually, like, you're going to leave the room and it's going to say, and then you put the knife in your parents. You do.
But like that's already happening with like actual chatbots and like teenagers.
Have we not seen the hack horror movies that start with the doll that says, I'm Chatty Cathy and I want to be your friend. I'm Chatty Cathy and I want to kill you.
Yeah, one of these toys is going to activate someone, you know?
No, this time it's going to be like, Taiwan is part of China.
Yes.
Like
100%.
never mention Winnie the Pooh in my
How does the president make you feel, child?
No, it's just like I think what it might be, and after thinking about this too much for too long, it's just papering over the laziness that already existed at CES. I don't think like there's something exceptional about the activity so much as they found was it Panacea? I never know how to say Panacea. It's like a Panna cotta. The panna cotta everyone's using is just okay, we're looking for a quick and easy thing. There was the IoT era, there was the metaverse era, like a thing we could build around that would get us funding. But this year it's like we found the ultimate thing to staple shit to. And I know I sound like a broken record, but it's like, come the fuck on. You haven't even got a thinner, lighter laptop. There was like one new thinner, lighter laptop. One. It was like, I think it was maybe LG. I don't fucking know. Samsung wasn't even on the floor. What the hell? We don't even get a weird Samsung booth with like a wall of televisions. The LG transparent OLED was just a tiny little one. I want one that's large and obviously can never be purchased.
That's what she said.
Like a monument. No, she mostly just says, it's okay. It's okay. It happens. But it's just, you don't need to. It's just kind of frustrating because I'm not reflexively cynical. I just want to see some doodad. Give me like Michael Fisher came in and showed the shell of the Clicks, the Android phone that's got like, it's basically like a new BlackBerry. Fucking lovely. Yeah, how new things, $400.
It's something.
Yeah, it's something. It's also, you know what? It's using existing tools, Android, and you can manufacture overseas. Wonderful, cool. We built a new thingy. This year, it's like we didn't build anything.
See, I think you're in the wrong part of the hall because when we were back in the Crap Gadgets, there was so much of that.
No, I still have them.
But it's in the so like the thing is that the stuff that you use every single day, right? Like your charger.
Yeah.
Is stuff that has an enormous bearing on your quality of life, right? Like if your charger's fucked, you are fucked, right? It's a low margin item, and it has barely been optimized.
Yeah.
And in this Pearl River Delta and around the Pacific Rim, there are a lot of incredibly clever mechanical engineers and product designers who are sort of turning their intellect to this.
I agree. And like Anker, for example, is a great company. Even like GPD, who makes these really interesting like devices for 100 people. It's like, it'll be a PlayStation portable sized gaming PC that costs $2,000 and superheats in your hands, so it needs an external battery. Those ones I didn't see having a prominent.
But you go back to the booths where we only do wholesale. We have a minimum 10,000 unit order. So you were there earlier, but we were off mic where I was talking about this thing that I saw that was the British electrical adapter for your charger that you carry around in your bag. And so people who aren't familiar with it, the British electrical adapter, the plug, is the world's ultimate caltrop. It's this incredibly big,
it's just like bulky, a big ass spiky, like 2 inches each.
Volt, big, like chunky.
Yeah.
And I lived in London for 13 years and I'm moving back there again. And like the charger's it's hard to carry around. It puts holes in your pockets.
Yeah.
It snags on things in your bag. It's a real thing. Like,
and
it's an actual problem.
Quite easily.
Yeah. So this charger was it had the 3 prongs, and when you fold it, they all folded down together in unison. They had some sort of mechanical linkage. They made the most satisfying little when you snap them down and when you snap them back up again. It was a beautiful piece of mechanical engineering. If you owned it and you lived in the UK, every single day you would use this thing and your life would be better.
Yeah.
Right? That's a like pure, we were asking on the last recording session, where were the consumer gadgets? That is a consumer gadget that would see daily use and make a significant difference in your life.
I agree. It's just that is like 1% of this show.
No, I agree. I agree.
And that's my principal thing is not that those things aren't here, though there are less of them.
No, that's
there are remarkably less of them. Like last year, there were more. The year before, there were way more. Like there was tons of them. This year, I saw one booth, and I wish I could remember because it was just the problem is as well is a lot of the ones I saw were just the same old shit we've had for years. Anchor is doing some cool stuff. Was it gallium nitride with making the plugs small?
Oh yeah, GaN plugs.
Yeah, GaN plugs. They're fucking
great.
They're fucking amazing. They're awesome. Didn't even see any new interesting GaN stuff, and like. Anchor, I give too much money because they always got some new thinner, weird one with a cable in it. Do
you know what the downside of GaN plugs is?
What?
They draw so many watts. They're such good chargers that they blow the breaker on airplane seats.
Do they?
On the main.
I was on a flight the other day.
If you've got like 100-watt one,
nah, man,
and you plug it in, the little green light goes out immediately.
I drop my prime on that bitch all the time, and it's fine. Anchor's got their.
I've got 2 different GaN chargers in my bag. Neither of them work reliably on airplanes.
No, I've been very lucky then because
Is it a 65 watt though?
It's like 125.
Oh really?
It's 100,
wow, that's
250
amazing.
even.
You've gotten lucky then.
It's just also it does get very hot,
right?
But it is on.
Right.
And I can charge, and I look like a real prick because I've just got this thing on the side, just like, just balancing barely on the side. I don't know. It's, Kyle, you're coming on to talk about the local Vegas area and like the effect of CES. Even Vegas feels a little quieter. Like we were just discussing earlier how there was like a chunk of the Palazzo or the Venetian, I can't remember, that was just closed. Just like no tables. Yeah, local resident to local resident. That fucking terrifies me. If I ever see like an empty area of a casino, like no tables either, I'm always like, unless there is a poker tournament or a craps class to take tourists in and kind of con them into believing they can beat the odds, fuck yeah.
They can.
They can.
I'm kidding.
Kind of. Well, I mean, past line. But it's just, it feels like everything, maybe it's just the wider world.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a mix of things. Las Vegas has definitely had a decline in visitation throughout the year. I have notes next to me.
Please.
So through November of 2025 compared to 2024, it's a 7.4% decline in visitation. To be fair, 2024 was a record year. Part of that is pent-up interest from the pandemic that got everyone going everywhere that was interested in travel. But that's still a drop of 2.8 million people going to Vegas.
And 2.7 million of them are Canadian.
Well, I mean, I got those numbers too. I mean, I think international travel has definitely been affected. I think it does surprise a lot of people when they look at the numbers at Harry Reid International Airport that the bigger decline actually was in domestic flights. Yeah. It's,
do you have any idea why?
Well, I think there's a couple things. One, when you look at travel and the process of it, right? In my opinion, the most important thing is consumer sentiment at that moment, and forward-looking sentiment. If you don't feel comfortable in your position, for feeding your family or just paying the bills on time, you are not traveling.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I will say, and I think this is an important note because I think a lot of the narrative has been like Las Vegas is dead.
Which it is. It really hasn't been.
No, I would push back on that because when you actually look at the gaming revenue, it is up this year.
Is that because they're gouging more though? They 000 on the roulette wheel.
Well, that actually there's been some efforts to scale that back because people were getting very angry.
Yeah.
And there was a large narrative online that like the destination marketing organization here in Las Vegas has tried to push back against. But sorry, I'm trying to think about the way to phrase this. The actual spend was higher, and I think, and I'm not going to act like I have a definitive this is why, but I think in all sectors you're seeing an increasingly bifurcated economy.
Sure, K-shaped recovery.
Right, K-shaped.
And what does that mean for those of us who
that the really rich are doing very, very well, and that the rest of us are not.
95% of the consumption is the top decile.
So they're coming at this, the high rollers.
That, I mean, if you look at Wynn, if you look at other, high end, I don't have those numbers right in front of me. They're doing okay. So I think there is like this discussion of price gouging, and I think that was a really big factor. You mentioned Canadians. I talked to at the beginning of the year. I went to a Winnipeg Jets game here.
Nice.
I stood outside and I was just interviewing people who were coming, and this was right after, or right around when Trump took office. And obviously, when you're going to talk to Canadians who are in Vegas, it's a big sampling bias of like, these are the people who didn't care. Most of them did. And they said, I scheduled this months ago, not coming back.
Jesus.
And the November numbers, those I do have in front of me, in November, travel into Vegas from Air Canada compared to last year fell 26%.
Jesus Christ.
And the discount carriers are worse, right?
Yeah, ultra low cost
WestJet,
carriers are having
whatever.
a hard time. Spirit's kind of its own thing.
No, I mean the Canadian discount, the
WestJet?
charter flights, WestJet, and there's another one. I forget what they're called. I am Canadian.
Okay, WestJet was 33.2% decline.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
And that's just for Canadians. There's actually have been that's been made up in some other countries coming to the United States, but there's also all these policies coming down the pipeline where I believe it was Customs and Border Protection had a proposal of people coming into the country, many of the folks who'd be coming into the country, having to share 5 years of social media activity.
Yeah.
Which I reached out to the Nevada Resort Association, and they're like, we are monitoring this because it's, I'm not going to speak for the country at all, but I think when you look at all this in totality, the United States is not being super welcoming.
Yeah.
To people coming here. Mentioning the Korea event earlier, I talked to one of the organizers, and he was talking to me about how after there was that ICE raid in, I think it was Georgia, at a Hyundai.
Specifically against South Koreans.
They were
right?
South Koreans. Many of them were, not all. That he had to be convincing people that it was okay to come to the United States, that they can still come to CES. And
now to be fair to America, there is a class of migrant they're welcoming. If you are the former dictator of Honduras who's been convicted of multiple narco trafficking charges,
white South Africans,
you will be
you'll be
exonerated and welcome.
It's, and I mean, this is specifically a place that attracts you based on being free and easy and quick and simple, and it's all of these little roadblocks, these little additions that just make it like you can't treat this like adult Disneyland.
What happens in Vegas gets imprisoned indefinitely in Vegas.
What happens in Vegas requires a long form now. It's just like I don't know. And also the hotels are not as cheap as they used to be. It used to be you could roll your ass into Bally's for $45 a night if you felt like it.
Well, there's also resort fees that people are very angry about.
Did you pay the no bed bug fee, by the way? I was wondering.
No, I paid the extra bed bug fee.
Okay.
That's you get that one special. That's the Canadian special, they call it. It's just frustrating as well because this place, I love Vegas. I love being here. It's a vending machine city. My addiction is Diet Coke, so that's been great for the Coca-Cola Corporation. But it's like adding these roadblocks fucks up a place like this so much, which is based on convenience.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when you look at the different narratives people are putting out about Las Vegas, I know local Democrats have labeled this the Trump slump. That's their big thing going into. We have a governor's race this year, and that is a big part is tying the current governor Joe Lombardo to the policies of the Trump administration.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical about how well that's going to work because I think it's a lot more complicated than just Trump. It's a larger administration thing. It's also this idea that Las Vegas is price gouging people, regardless of how true that is for a specific location. I mean, there's like the infamous $26 water bottle that's like, I think was coming from like a mini bar in someone's room that like Fox News is reporting on.
But the thing is, we're in the Palazzo and I like staying here, but it's the fucking case here. The resort fee every night, and it's like these resort fees kill people. Not literally. Well, the rest of Vegas does that maybe, but not really. But it's like the little needling things that Vegas did, and it's not just post 2021, but it's like if you're going to do this to a place where it's about just kind of like frictionless entertainment.
And they've waved through so many mergers too that the casinos aren't really competing anymore.
Well, there's that, and also that some of them they don't own the property. The property itself in some cases.
Right.
But even downtown Vegas is more expensive now. Like I hadn't been to Fremont Street much before last year, and I went, it's more expensive in some cases than the Strip, and it fucking sucks. I'm sorry. It's like genuinely like it's a loud, hostile place that when you go, it's just like punishing. And it's like, oh, and now because you used to go there because it was cheap. Now it's expensive and loud and bad. If I wanted that, I'd go to fucking Charlotte.
So what's happening in Reno? Is it just as bad as it is in Vegas?
Phil was mentioning the other day that Reno is actually trying to like not reject the casinos, but grow outside of them, which I don't think.
I think it's that's a statewide.
Is that a state?
Yeah, I would say it's like pretty
Brothels
statewide.
No, like housing and jobs.
Oh, wow.
I hate that.
That's crazy.
I know. What kind of a town runs on that when we have our big, beautiful casinos and our loud slot machines?
Buffalo slot machines.
They're so loud. We've got the Buffalo slot machines.
You've got the Bullet Farm. You've got the Water Castle
the
where
gun
Morton
store.
Joe lives. You've got the...
We have the
Pawn Stars.
We have the most lifeless NFL team in the most lifeless NFL stadium.
I have always made... Actually, I was at an event recently and Mark Davis sat down next to me and I was shocked.
Man, if he ever sat down next to me, I got some fucking questions, mate.
I'm not going to comment on
What, the
that.
fucking offensive line? They're all going to play out of position. Why'd you let Pete Carroll's son do the... Sorry.
But it's crazy because, I mean, it's so emblematic of the industry that you can have a successful, in air quotes, NFL franchise without winning.
I mean, even then, I don't even think they're that successful. We're going to transition to the next part. The next ad is for the Las Vegas Raiders. We won 3 fucking times despite Pete Carroll, Geno Smith. I guess that's what happens when you don't have an offensive line playing in position. This next ad is for the Las Vegas Raiders. Any other is an error. And we're back for the second quarter. We're back with, of course, Carl Chouinard of the Las Vegas Sun.
Hello.
Mr. Edwin Ongweso of the Tech Bubble newsletter.
Hello.
Activist, journalist, and author, Cory Doctorow.
Well, hello.
I was on the radio earlier and they were like, I was like, oh, Cory Doctorow's book. And they're like, you can say it. I'm like, in shitification. Yay! They allow you to, your book has allowed people to say it on the radio now.
Oh, no.
They just allowed me to. What do you say then?
So it depends. But I was on Alexis Madrigal's show on NPR in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It's the largest NPR station in the country. Right after Brendan Carr, chair of the FCC, announced that he was going to pull 3 years of their underwriting. And their general counsel had said, you cannot even allude to the title of the book. And through the entire segment, we called it The Book Whose Title We Cannot Say. When I did On the Media, which is nationally syndicated, they called it In Poopification.
Was that with Brooke?
With Brooke,
Yeah.
she's terrific.
Oh, I love Brooke. Brooke Gladstone fucking rocks.
She is a national treasure. And yeah, various other affiliates and radio stations have dealt with it in different ways. You know, the Daily Show, they're cable, so they were like, it's fine. But anytime I'm on broadcast, we can't do it. And weirdly, I was just on a show in Toronto, and they decided not to let me say the title of the book. And so I was like, it's in somethingification, and the something is a word for poop that rhymes with snit.
Nice.
That's the word they use? Snit?
I used it.
Oh, okay.
I was like, it's great. It's a
as
really
in
good
your
example. General counsel is having a, yeah.
It is always funny. Like when I went on the media, I did like half an hour of just like, I managed to, because actually Brooke Gladstone, older woman, and genuinely, if you can't explain something to her, she's very smart, but like she's a regular person, older woman. So if you can explain it to her, you can explain it to anyone. But if you can't, you can't explain. Normies won't understand you. I got so many emails, lovely emails. Heard from my good mate Peter Stormare, everyone who was listening. It was great as well. But I heard so many people just being like, "Wow, you sounded so nice. You didn't say shit or fuck." I'm like, I can actually have a conversation with someone without swearing. You just don't
You
hear
need
it.
to take a nap afterwards, but sure.
Yeah. I have to enter like my mind palace, like the stone will of the Buddha to like just 3 hours point. Fuck.
Just vibrating.
Giant gong in the back. Dong.
You know how I feel about Sam Morton?
Dong.
Just no, I can. I'm calm. I'm normal. Yeah, I want Vegas to come roaring back, but I think there is a degree of the post-2021 greed that came in. I think that everyone jacked stuff up. I think so. I don't know, how has Summerlin been received by tourism? Is it been a good tourism destination? It's like 25 minutes away from everything, which is in Vegas far.
Yeah. I mean, I would say in my own experience, I don't even really see Summerlin as a specifically very touristy area.
Does it not try and appeal?
What is it?
It's like this thing 25 minutes away, which anywhere else would be like, oh, you get there. 25 minutes away in Vegas, you're like, no, you're just like, oh, I'll come visit you in New York City, I guess.
I mean, if they let you fire an automatic weapon, maybe you'll go that far. But
you can do that 10 minutes off the strip,
Is
mate.
that right?
There's like 4 different places.
A bazooka then.
There's a place 15 minutes. You can blow up a car for $2,000 here.
Okay.
Fuck, Vegas rocks.
It's a very wealthy area. And they got some really nice shopping.
And they got a AAA baseball team as well.
Yes, the Aviators.
Good. I like AAA ball.
It's fucking great.
As a person who doesn't like sports, I like AAA
Aviator is brilliant.
It is, I would say, at least in my experience, a place that's like more designed for locals. I would say probably more affluent locals.
Yes. It's a master plan community.
Yeah. Which I've gone a couple times. I had to go to an event at the Aviators Stadium. It's really nice. I just never really saw it as specifically like serving the tourist.
Sure.
And it's kind of interesting with that is that the locals casinos have actually had a really good year.
What you mean like
Red Rock,
Green Valley?
All the stations, casinos.
Yeah. But also Green Valley as well. Is they doing all right?
I believe so. That's one pretty close to me.
Like all the local casinos that just like
stations overall had a very good year.
What's good is because there's the ASMR of just the slot machines. They're always like somewhere between completely empty or just a few people, but they somehow still make money. I love them. They're the best.
I also didn't realize before moving here that like all of the movie theaters that you would go to are in casinos.
Yep, there's one in New Orleans, and I took my parents there when they were in town. And there's just these horrifying giant, like Chuck E. Cheese looking animals, like a giant statue to them when you walk.
Oh, that's my jam.
I fucking love it. No, my parents thought it was one.
I'm a committed robosexual. So.
No, sadly they're not robots. They're just giant statues of rats.
Wait, what?
No, it's so strange.
I went to go see a hockey tournament there. I did not see the rat.
I swear,
rat
maybe
statue.
I just like hallucinated just these just like, oh yeah, my mom gave me peyote or something. I don't know, but
in that cab on the way down, Ed and I were talking about Ed Ongweso and I were talking about my new favorite podcast, which is No Gods, No Mayors, which is a podcast about the oafs that are mayors. Mm-hmm. And on that, I learned that Las Vegas is not a city.
Yeah.
The city of Las Vegas is a suburb on the other side of the
When
airway.
you hear about the mayor of Las Vegas, that's
this is
generally
an unincorporated area, right?
Well, you have Paradise.
Right.
And then, when I first moved here, I was like being explained all the different government structures. Like a lot of things in Southern Nevada run through Clark County. Just because it encompasses the entire, or not entire, but most of the population that lives around this area. But Las Vegas itself is not the Strip, and then you have North Las Vegas and Henderson. But
the part of Las Vegas you see as a visitor to Las Vegas is an unincorporated county land, right?
Largely.
Yeah.
So I also just want to be clear, it wasn't rats, it was giant kind of stoned-looking crocodiles. Like they're just like they all look like they look fucking alligators,
but they're not animated. Like, what is the point?
No, they're like these things look like they're
very disappointed.
Yeah, they look like they are. I don't want to know.
They're very Splash Mountain looking.
Yes,
to be honest.
Like
little alligator minstrelsy.
Oh God!
Wonder if they have their own shredder. You know,
what do you mean, like a shredder, like their enemy?
No, yeah. Like instead of Teenage Mutant Ninja alligators, and they've got to would
it's
it be a rat?
Who's their sensei?
Yeah.
It's the people that collect unemployment taxes. Like they're just constantly at war with them.
It's like a dude who's just hanging in the sewer.
One thing I'll say is, like, I know this sounds strange, but Vegas doesn't also seem that welcoming to CES. Like it's weird. You'd think that they cater to it more. Like when Raiders games are going on, there's a shit ton of pop-up events. With this, it's like the only specific drinking specials or anything like that are just Lenovo has bought a restaurant.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's pretty crazy to see, though, as I come to the Strip probably a lot less than people would think.
Yeah.
But I mean, CES, maybe not getting drink deals, but it is everywhere on the Strip.
It is, but it's events where people have bought them.
Yeah.
It's not like they are. Vegas usually like opens their arms to people in like just a kind of a can I have your money please thing. And I don't know whether it's just CES doesn't treat them with respect or something. It's just something.
They haven't forgiven them from disaggregating from AVN. I think that's what it is.
That's the thing. They should never have done that.
I still don't understand
have them. Well, it's because of fucking purity.
I mean, yeah, I understand, but I understand intellectually. But
they should have them in the same conference hall.
Yes, actually, yeah.
It's now at Virgin Hotels, which I kind of love.
Very funny.
So the other event I come to in Vegas most years is DEF CON, and talk about an event that Vegas does not roll out the red carpet for. We just keep getting turfed out of hotels and conference centers. So
it's weird. There's this combative relationship with it as well. It's like, okay, you're here, you're going to spend a lot of money, but weirdly we don't love it. I feel like both sides need to come together and do something, but I guess Vegas is a city of honest cons and CES isn't. No, I mean, like, that's kind of what I love it here. It's like everyone's weird, so no one's weird, and also we're like very human labor focused.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I mean, I think like we talked about last year, there's a huge union culture and union participation here in Nevada that for I think a state that has a Republican governor, and it was the first time in 20 something years, voted for Trump, very union heavy. That there is a big focus on the people who make up the city, which I really have appreciated learning about that and that kind of the culture around work. I mean, just like there is in my opinion, like, I don't know, growing up in New York, maybe people would look down on some like service jobs. I don't think that's as much of a thing, at least in my experience talking to people.
And splitting time between both, I would say New York has got a hell of a lot better at that. Like most people I talk to, and also if you have a disrespect for service people, chop your hands off and throw yourself into a review, piece of shit. But the city's very pro-labor, and I guess the current state of the tech industry isn't.
Well, I was gonna add
entire
like
conference where it's like, what if we didn't have people?
Well, there's like this like overarching theme of feels almost like anti-human. Like we are trying to, and I mean, like tech innovations forever have been like, how do we minimize the labor cost of whatever? But it feels like we're taking it to such a degree.
And everyone's so excited. Everyone's like, oh, I can't wait.
I mean, yeah, there are people who are like excited to see people lose their jobs.
And the thing is as well, like Vegas, one of the best things here is go and fucking talk to the people working at the restaurants, at the door, in your cab. There's so many, no one comes here by accident. Sure. Everyone like ends up here because they had a few choices they needed to make. And it's like, you talk to like one of my good mates, Noah Aronstein, used to work at Casa Playa, now in S&P in New York. One of my dearest friends, and it's because just Vegas people fucking will talk to you, and there's never a case. I've never talked to anyone here, and it's happened in New York, where there was like the look up and down, like, who are you? What do you do? No one, everyone's like, what are you like? Yeah, you're doing all right. There's a genuine everyman culture here, and I don't know if this is the case. It probably isn't at a large scale, but yeah, I can imagine if you're here, there's a certain degree of fuck off. Oh, you want to replace me and everyone I know and everything I do?
Yeah, I'm not sure how ingrained or like supremely aware people are of that sentiment within the tech industry for like people who are just like going about their day. But I think like it's always funny to see how the ads change in Vegas based on what conferences in town. Yeah. And I think, I mean, I've certainly picked up on when there's like a tech show, like some of them are like, the human need not apply. Right. I mean, not literally that, but
no, but that's the intonation.
Yeah.
I mean, there are literal. I don't know if they ran them here, but there's a
in the Bay Area.
That one I saw in the Bay. I don't think I saw that one in Vegas.
And they did that specifically to drum up outrage.
Sure.
Right. Because that if people are running around saying this AI company is so good at what it does that it's going to replace humans, then investors are like, oh, well, this AI.
And that's the advertising campaign for LLMs in general.
Well, I was going to say, like, the fear you're putting people into is making them take your product seriously.
Yeah. It's a marketing strategy.
Even though
it's going to work.
I mean, it's just another ChatGPT wrapper.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, and I had this conversation on the radio earlier about like, oh, the MGM's chatbot is replacing concierges. No, it isn't. They just wanted to lay some people off. Yeah. Like also, I feel like concierge culture here is kind of dead.
Because I don't interact with it enough.
Well, no, but it's like it used to, like 10, 15 years ago, you would talk to the concierge and they'd be able to get you into a show or a restaurant.
Sure.
Now there's so many people. It's just like, well, can you get me a reservation? Just use Open Table, mate.
There was this story I did a while back about this website called Restaurant Trader.
Oh, yeah.
That was, and one of the little nuggets of information that I got out of it that I wanted to make into a bigger thing, but I just wasn't able to, was that there were concierge folks who were getting reservations, it would sound like through their job, to then put on Restaurant Trader that people would pay for on the side.
Dastardly.
Oh, wow.
Where, like, I think there was an option on the website where you could, like, pretty much request to work with a concierge.
Wow.
That's just...
So, yeah, it's... That's a little anecdote. Just
no, appointment trader is banned in multiple New York restaurants.
New York City. Sorry, it was the New York Assembly that passed a law.
Fuck yeah,
that was
kill those companies
restricting
dead.
it. I think there was a similar effort here in Nevada. That's why I was writing about it.
I genuinely think it should be an actual crime to resell appointments.
So the most disgusting version of this,
hell yeah,
was there was a bro who was paying people to call the IRS when the lines opened at 8 a.m. and sit in the hold queue and then sell their positions in the IRS hold queue to people who wanted to figure out what's going on with their taxes.
That should be a jailable offense.
Well, he was eventually shut down, but I don't think he was ever put in jail, much as he absolutely 100%.
So, like holding a place in line for you?
That's right.
He should be put in the box they put Captain Jack in Torchwood.
The hand massage one?
No, I'm talking about anyone watch Torchwood? Torchwood, when they put Captain Jack in the concrete box.
Right.
Oh, go and watch that. Look that up. That's where that guy should go.
So can I tell you my best Vegas?
Please.
Story. So, my sister-in-law's good friends started a guide to places to romantic hotels called the Mr. and Mrs. Smith Guides.
And what was a romantic hotel in this case?
So we were asked to come and review a hotel, and the way that it works is they ring up ahead and they said, we're the Mr. and Mrs. Smith company. We're thinking about putting you in the guide. We're going to send some anonymous reviewers. What we would like is a voucher from the manager to present at checkout that says these people should be comped, but they will book the reservation as per normal. The staff won't know until you check out.
Right.
So we stayed in the high roller suite at the MGM.
Nice.
Ooh. So it was an $1,800 a night, 1,400 square foot, 2-story suite with a butler. And it was the first time we ever interacted with a concierge. It was very good. This was in 2005. It was the weekend we got engaged. So we came here and got engaged, and we stayed in the hotel. I was teaching in LA, and my wife had come over and was working for BBC America.
Nice.
And it was so great. The concierge culture, and they had lots of perks. The best thing they had was they came in, they gave us a menu of newspapers, and we were like, how do you get these newspapers? Because it was the Singapore Straits Times and
the Las Vegas Sun,
and all these, the Las Vegas Sun as well, but
Cleveland
international
Plain
papers,
Dealer.
and they would print it on 11, but they had a facsimile newspaper service. They print it on 11 by 17 inch heavy stock and bind it in silk ribbon.
What?
And so we ordered like 11 newspapers, and we would come out in the morning, and the butler would have laid them out in a fan on the coffee table, from all over the world, that morning's paper.
That's beautiful.
International Herald Tribune, whatever, on creamy 11 by 17 with a like a sort of pinkish silver silk ribbon in the corner.
Was that an additional cost?
No, it was all bundled in with the room.
Huh.
I mean, it
was amazing.
The margins there when you're getting someone.
Oh yeah,
like
of course.
2,500 to 10 grand a night.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like Vegas is a service culture place. Like we're going to Spago tonight. Roberto Garcia over at GM there. Fantastic place. You look over the Bellagio fountain. I mean, formerly Bizarre Me. I don't have my thoughts on that. But like, there are so many great restaurants here with like lovely service. The great Palazzo's brilliant. And even like Main Street Station's fucking great too. Like,
you can get a pretty good pastrami sandwich at New York.
There's a great margarita deal at the station's casinos.
But Main Street Station has a microbrewery, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm just saying overall.
No, but that's the thing. Like, you can go, you can have a laugh, or if you want to do the fancy stuff, you can go any number of places. I mean, like, the whole thing about this city is it's relatively accessible, affordable, and if you want to spend some money, well, you can spend some money and like have a luxury experience, and it's not as expensive as doing it in other cities. And it's weird how I will just fucking say this. I don't think people who come to CES are grateful enough for how accessible the city is, in part because CES fucks it up.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult to get into that building.
Like
the convention center.
I mean, you can go to the Renaissance Hotel, And then Ubers will be like, I'm being told to go somewhere else. And you're like, mate, I don't know where to go because CEA doesn't know how to wipe their asshole at this point. How many CESs we done with Uber around? Fucking. Anyway.
I'm a big fan of the monorail during CES.
What's that word again?
Monorail.
Monorail.
Yeah.
Is there a chance the track could bend?
I mean, hopefully not, considering I don't want to diet outside Harrah's. But it's like, I will say also that Harrah's was cheaper this year. Even on like an expensive night, it was $300 a night, which doesn't sound cheap, but it is for CES. And which makes me wonder if CES attendance was down.
So I'm mad at Caesar's Harrah for kicking DEF CON out. I wouldn't stay there again.
And that's the thing. Vegas, I'm not going to be romantic, but like, oh, it used to be. But it feels like that's a dollar to be made. To work with the people at DEF CON and be like, okay, we have security concerns. What are some things that the people at DEF CON could do to make you comfortable, and then we could make you comfortable too.
The last time I stayed at Harrah's, they gave me a room that not only didn't have a desk, it didn't have a closet.
Oh.
I was like, where do I hang up my stuff? And they're like, if you want a room with a closet, that's an extra charge.
Jesus Christ. What year was that?
That was 2 years ago at DEF CON.
That's supremely fucked up.
It was really fucked.
Insane.
No, I will 3 years ago at DEF CON. 3 years ago at DEF CON.
In relation to what you were just saying, I thought I'd pull this up. The average daily room rate on the Strip, this is year to date, comparing November 2025 to November 2024. On the Strip, it's actually fallen 4.7%, and downtown 6.2%.
Interesting.
Yeah,
everything's out of sorts.
That's the rack rate, and they're piling it up with junk fees.
Yeah.
So the rack rate is not the price, right? You have to add in the junk fees to get.
I believe that's inclusive.
Is that inclusive? Wow.
I believe. I mean, that's the average. That's the room rate itself.
Okay.
That's a 1-to-1 comparison last year. I'm not positive, but yeah.
I just feel like there is an ocean of opportunity here for the CEA if they could do one thing right and just like Gary Shapiro come on the show.
CTA?
CTA. Is that CTA? CEA?
CTA.
I don't know who fucking runs this shit. They certainly don't want to talk to me. But it's like...
So I have to say, I've known Gary Shapiro for 20 years. I've never had a bad interaction with him. I don't know all the dealings of the CTA.
Yeah.
But I've never had I get the impression that he is someone who is in charge of an industry association with several large, important members that like to throw their weight around. And he is the peacemaker and coalition binder of this big disparate organization. I'm not going to defend CEA and its members, but I do think that Gary Shapiro is holding together a very fractious group.
Well, I've been saying CEA incorrectly for days, so I apologize there. Also, Ben is not your son.
I think they were the CEA. I think I changed the name to CTA because electronics sounds a little outmoded.
I just feel like the CTA, now I'm saying it correctly, could work directly with Vegas and do way more. It feels like they could streamline this whole thing and make it a little bit better because it's been here long enough that it's still too chaotic.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the exact relationship they have, but they do have a pretty close working relationship, especially when it comes down to construction and renovations within the convention center.
How about getting people to and from the convention center?
I think there's another reporter, Alan Snell, who had I'm just going to call it a tweet. I don't care. That was about the difficulty of biking to the convention center. It's really, really hard.
I'm so sorry. You're a psychopath if you bike to that convention center.
I was thinking about e-bikes when we were stuck in traffic today and thinking this would be faster.
It's difficult. Biking throughout Vegas is quite hard.
I would never.
Is that because bikes aren't allowed on the...
there's no infrastructure. There is infrastructure, but there's not a lot of infrastructure for bikes.
The way it was today, you would have been moving 5 times faster than anything else on the road.
But it's like we've had this convention here for a while, and it's still insanely difficult to get around. And it's not so, and they'll probably say, well, this big convention.
It's a lot of people.
Right. I fucking got around. I went to dinner during the F1. It was not that different.
What if they had helicopters that came in and skyjacked any car that moved into the junction when they didn't have time to complete their turn?
I'm down for that.
Uber Blade.
And block the grid. Yeah, just take those cars and then drive and then take them out to the Grand Canyon
and just
leave them at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Or a big arm that just took them.
You're on timeout. You got
there was a little viral clip of the new Zooks car.
Oh, did one get stuck?
It didn't get stuck because it
autopilot
moved
car?
eventually, but it was like in the. Sorry, that doesn't
No,
sound great for them.
it's not your company.
But they were just like in the middle of a turn in a giant like strip intersection for like a good little bit of time, and everyone around was like, "What are they doing?" And I'm like, "Oh no!"
Cab drivers are just saying the most ugly shit of all time.
Well, I just can't imagine being like the visitor in that.
yeah, it's a completely
freaking out.
in this transparent box as everyone stares at you, like the Homer Simpson
terrifying.
thing where he gets stuck and has to be craned out.
Right.
I mean, this is a town bereft of shame, but even that's a new kind of shame we invented here in Las Vegas.
It's not even your fault.
I've fallen in love with Waymos as an Angelino because you can make a left turn into their path and they'll just defer to you and they won't even honk.
Oh, they're yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck you, right? Roads for people, not robots.
Last-
Like,
Right.
fuck yourself.
This is my shit, my streets. I'm the
Last,
king.
last time
On the highway.
last time I was in San Francisco and I took a Waymo. I got out of it, watched as a Waymo in front of it got stuck at the I watched it get stuck at the intersection. Then another Waymo gets stuck behind it, and I checked back half an hour. It was still fucking sitting.
Oh,
just like
beautiful.
Just like stare like by the W Hotel in San Francisco, just staring out into nothingness as people are saying, "Nah, this thing isn't fucking hearing you. It can only see."
No.
Was it San Francisco where a bunch of people just kept calling Waymos to one spot until it just completely?
No, no, sorry. Yes, that was actually yeah. And putting like traffic cones on top of them. I think it was really funny when that was happening and people were like, you can't deface Waymos. It's like,
This is domestic terrorism.
did people fucking say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Property damage is domestic
It is illegal to smash up a car.
Sure.
I will accept that.
Sure.
Property damage is
I
illegal.
mean, is it though?
yeah.
I don't know.
That's the real question.
Ask the cops.
Or maybe I don't think they'd have the answer.
Yeah, cops are like, well.
famously,
Ask a lawyer.
In fact,
Famously
I
aware
think
of
it's
what's legal.
correct in 40% of cases. Google 40% cops
Yeah.
Boy. Oh, no.
and see what comes up. Oh, boy.
Right, the truth.
The truth about this specific situation. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel like that everything feels out of sync here. I feel like the CTA could work with Vegas and make this a little bit easier. I also think the CTA needs to fucking kick companies out from renting restaurants in the Venetian. I think it's fucking stupid. I don't think we should lose an entire restaurant because Lenovo needs to do the slop hour where they're like, we added an LLM to your fucking laptop, you disgusting pig. You nasty pig. Yeah, they did that. They didn't call you a nasty pig, though. If they did that, I'd be fine. If they were like, you nasty hogs, do you like your slop, you pigs? I'd be like, fine. It's
So what I want is for Lenovo to distribute badge flare that's a little adhesive backed pointer red pointer nub.
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
ThinkPad, and that like everyone can go to the Lenovo party and then have the red Lenovo pointer on their badge.
Yeah, but if you have a green one, well, then you can do anything to them. Yeah, it's... Sorry. It's Vegas. Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird. I don't know. I love living in Vegas, and then this week it's just all of the Vegas stuff that's fun kind of turns off. We've had less fun off-strip like things. No one's blown up a car. There's not been any like interesting stunts. It's like everyone forgot to have fun or make anything this year. It's really sad. It's sad. I'm upset that like CES is kind of not having fun, and neither is Vegas. We're all just kind of sitting here, rolling around in our filth, or at least I am. Yeah, everyone's just staring at me. I'm not filthy. I've been showering every day.
Yeah, we're just little piggies. For
We just
tech
little
stocks.
when I was on this show earlier, I felt bad for them, but they were like, "Well, what about Lenovo's AI assistant?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's just an LLM." And they're like, "Yeah, but like, what if it in the future?" I'm like, "What if it did what in the future?" And they were like, "Well, it would be."
What if we breed these horses to run so fast that eventually one of the mares gives birth to a locomotive?
Yeah. Listen,
that be
Leland Stanford was on to something.
amazing?
Okay, he was.
Yeah.
That was
What if we all shit ourselves enough and maybe our asses will wipe themselves?
We need more hay than currently exists on the planet.
That's right.
We've thrown a ball so fast that it now flies.
We've discovered unprecedented reserves of hay in other countries.
that we're not invading.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, we're gonna do all.
we're just gonna run them for a few years.
It'd be beautiful, big, beautiful hay.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful. We love them.
That's the sister town to Hay on Wye in Wales. Big beautiful Hay.
Oh God! Like the whole week, my brain has been broken. Someone sent me a video of someone doing Trump voice, going, "I made a boom boom. I made the biggest boom boom I've ever seen."
They're saying It's quite beautiful if you look at it.
Yeah, but this specific week is like even the Trump voice. Just I don't know if this is the week to do it. Very sad. But you know,
is he dead yet?
Trump?
Yeah,
no, he's still alive.
Chicken.
Yeah, I mean,
screaming.
Yeah, he's still going. Now, the upcoming ad you're going to get is for nothing political, nothing weird. Everything's normal here. We're all the most normal people to ever do a podcast in history. And you, too, can be the most normal person ever if you buy and or listen to the following advertisement. Just throw your fucking credit card at your phone, you pig. I'm sorry, you're not a pig. Please don't stop listening to my show. I desperately need the downloads. Diane, I'm once again finding myself in front of a microphone in beautiful, sunny Las Vegas, Nevada, even though it's nighttime, where I've been for what feels like weeks, and I'm surrounded by several wayward travelers that I adore, starting with another journalist and activist, I think, author, Cory Doctorow.
Well, hello, Ed. It's nice to be here.
That's him. And we've got Garrison Davis of It Could Happen Here.
I apologize. We had a podcasting emergency.
No, it's fine. We are doing it now. And Carl Chouinard of the Las Vegas Sun.
Hello.
And, of course, Edward Ongweso Jr.
Hello. Who's Diane?
Twin Peaks.
Are you
Twin
serious?
Peaks. It's a Twin Peaks reference.
That was,
My God.
Oh, I thought it was a Cheers reference.
No.
I never watched Cheers. And that's Robert Evans of Behind the Bastards.
Yeah, and famous Cheers fan.
Famous Cheers head.
Yeah.
And Robert is very excited because we have the pieces to make, what was it? We've got a C. We've got
a CD.
Where's
Cory Doctorow.
Cory Doctorow, so a CD.
Yeah.
We've got a Robert, R.
We've got Ongweso. I have to use his last name.
Yeah.
Because there's not an O first name here.
And then what's the end?
And the editor is Matt.
Matt.
Yeah.
So CD-ROM.
Also some other people's names.
And some others.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you have to add other names.
What's the CD-ROM?
Oh, it's when you have an ISO and you want to convert it to optical media. You take that ISO and you take some optical media and you toast the one onto the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you've pirated Cyberpunk 2077 and you have to make your computer think that you've put a CD in.
When a daddy CD and a mother CD.
I haven't played with that in a minute. I miss pirating again. The little ISO burner, bring it. Oh,
I miss when the only way I had Microsoft Office was a pirated version that never touched the internet and didn't ask me to use Copilot every fucking 5 minutes. Yeah,
it really is sickening.
I remember when I started reading classified ads, and it was like, SWF, ISO, SWM, and I was like, a straight white female is an ISO for a straight white male? I don't understand.
Yeah, but Garrison, was that a legit question?
No, I know.
They know what
I'm
CD
sorry.
is.
That would have been, no, honestly, if it was honest, that would have been fine.
I mean, it was barely, though, because like my dad used it for the music he purchased legally on the internet, and transferring it to CDs when I was a kid. But like, I got like the last bit of CD-ROM,
right, the very edge.
Like, probably like my younger siblings don't know what a CD-ROM
Meanwhile,
is.
I once owned a zip drive.
I had a zip drive. I had a jazz drive too.
Jazz
You're the
drive.
jazz. Oh,
hell yeah!
No, this is the kind of kid I was. My dad.
I had a drawer full of SCSI Terminators.
Jesus Christ. It took me a minute to remember what SCSI referred to. So that was the one where you screwed it into, like it had literal screws on it.
You had to set dip switches on the back, and if you gave two SCSI devices the same ID, all of your drives would go south forever.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Computers used to have to fight with the computer.
And then they'd administer a lethal shock.
We used to be a proper country. We
used to have jazz drives, zip drives. Now you just Dropbox gives you a whole terabyte to all sorts and sundry.
With unlimited access for the U.S. government without a warrant.
Well, but also unlimited access for the chatbots that they sign deals with. Let's be fair.
I did see earlier that ChatGPT apparently is doing a HIPAA compliant ChatGPT, which just is a lie. It's a lie.
That's so funny.
It's a fucking lie.
Imagine how many ChatGPTs we've seen in health, like wearable products, just like these past few days.
Yeah. And again, we were talking about this on the other show, but you can tell one of the things that you can divide the people with AI products between is the 90% for whom, if you ask them, what happens if somebody, like if there's a data breach with all of this biometric data you've put in the cloud, they go, what? or we're really concerned with safety, right? They'll give you one of those two answers, but they don't actually have an answer. And then there's the much smaller 10 to 20% of people bringing products who will tell you right up front, the second you come to their booth, this does not touch the cloud. It never goes online. It is entirely on device.
I'm trying to work out how anything ChatGPT can be HIPAA compliant, though.
It can't. I mean, based on my understanding of HIPAA, I'm sure they're working out a deal with, I mean, now that the government's run by who it's run by, but like,
so I kind of sketch out a way that it could be HIPAA compliant. I'm thinking this through. So HIPAA, although it's commonly called a consumer privacy law, is not a consumer privacy law because it only affects your rights as a patient and not as a consumer. And so if you were to construct a kind of matryoshka where the inside doll is a consumer company that is providing you with consumer medical services, and the outside of the doll is a medical company that does nothing except kind of exist as a fig leaf, like the MD whose name is on the private equity owned practice, then what you could say is, well, you haven't given us any medical data. You've only given us consumer data. Therefore, it is HIPAA compliant. Like we have structured HIPAA compliance through the compliance regime and not through the HIPAA regime.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I just think if you feed your healthcare data into this, you deserve whatever comes out. Like
well,
it's just,
I would like, it's easy to take that attitude.
I know, but people are being conned into it and claimed it's more effective.
And it's going to be, they're going to be conduit into it the same way a lot of people were conned into getting addicted to painkillers, where they will be at their doctor's office. Their doctor will have gotten flown out for a vacation or put on a cruise where they were pitched on this. And their doctor will say, there's a wearable that can help you keep track of your cholesterol. And this 65-year-old person will not immediately think, like people who professionally worry about this stuff, is my data safe? What is it being safeguarded? Can a prompt injection attack reveal all of my biometric data?
They'll think, I am not special enough, and they'll not understand the nature of targets of opportunity.
Well, the thing I'm worried about is more that it will give you the wrong advice more than anything.
Well, that in terms of objective health realities, that is the big concern. But also, and that's part of what I'm saying is that when the majority of people, I suspect, who come into these devices will not have made a choice to go out into the world and buy something. They will have been advised by a medical professional they trust that this is a good product for them. And that's part of what worries me in terms of it hallucinating, in terms of it not being reliable, because the doctors probably will not be competent to judge whether or not the AI is reliable.
But I also think it's that no one can afford healthcare anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with like AI therapy that I always say, it's like it's obviously evil, obviously bad, terrible. It's going to reinforce things, but at the same time, therapy is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
And when it's covered by health care plans, which it's often not, and I don't even think therapy is covered under the NHS. Or if it is, it's extremely fucking limited.
It is.
When I was there, I could not find a therapist.
It is hard to find a therapist, but it is covered under.
Then
the
it may the thing is, then it may as well not be.
Sure.
And I say this as a big NHS defender and lover of the NHS. Sure. Mental health is this weird bifurcated thing where everything's too expensive. So yeah.
Well, and I went to a panel that was about AI and the future of mental health, and I went there hoping or expecting it to be a normal panel where I harass whoever is up there during the Q&A. But no, it was one very earnest clinical therapist who was talking about people are already using AIs for therapy. We have data on how often that's being done, and we have data on the harms. And one of the reasons why it's harmful is because the AIs are programmed to keep you using them as long as possible, and that there's certain behaviors that they exhibit that are bad for people. So if it's possible to make a healthy therapeutic AI, these are the things it would need to do and not do. And one of the things is it would need to not work the way AI chatbots work in terms of constantly. And my question for her after the show was like, well, but like that seems like people won't use it and will just keep using the chatbots. I don't know if that's true.
I think journaling is a well understood therapeutic modality. Journaling with prompts is a well understood therapeutic modality. I think those prompts don't have to be very sophisticated. And I think that there are lots of people who would find it nice to have a thing where when you type some stuff, gave you a response and said, tell me more.
I think you've kind of like this Rosebud or something. Like there are ones like that as well.
Yeah.
It's just when it comes to therapeutic stuff.
I guess more my concern was that I don't deny that there is a market and there are people who would get utility, and you probably could make a device that could handle that responsibly. But I don't see that as solving the societal issue of huge numbers of people using, because the chatbots are addictive, right? Yeah. And that's what, like, that was my, and to be very clear to her, I liked this person, and her answer was, when I brought that up, I have that concern too, and I think it might not be really possible for this to help that problem.
The good news is that none of this is remotely profitable in any way, and healthcare data is extremely, extremely token intensive, and so anyone using this is just working on borrowed time.
And in defense of chatbots and medical applications, they are reliably good at upcoding things in EHR so you can rip off insurance,
which is
companies.
great. And
hey,
and I've heard that's the one. Yeah. That is the one LLM use I have heard where it's just like, find if you're being overcharged in this. Which is, you know what, the one.
Oh no, I mean overcharging. Mm-hmm. They're very good at like Epic, which is the electronic health record monopolist, which is a cult basically.
Yes.
They've basically redesign the chatbots in their EHR systems around upcoding so that they can rip off insurers. Wow. So that you go in and you say, I have an X and a Y and a Z, and they're like, well, I can infer that you have an A and a B and a C. And also
you need
that
treatment
we can
for
treat
it.
we can treat X as this category for reimbursement and that category for reimbursement. I will prompt the clinician to enter a few more details that will allow us to. This is why clinicians spend 2 hours doing data entry for every hour they spend doing clinical care.
And that makes me think a product I might want, because there's a lot of agentic AI here, and I legitimately don't want an AI agent to handle stuff like booking flights or booking my car to get repaired or whatever for me. But what could be useful is if somebody coded an AI agent that you could have call companies that you need to call on the phone and fight through their chatbot. And like, this is an optimized chatbot for fighting through other chatbots.
We have that.
And getting you what you like. Maybe that's a product. Yeah.
GetHuman.com. Yeah. They've had that for a while. It's funny. It's like, even the good idea, it's kind of already done.
Yeah.
Also, if you use Walgreens, I think if you just type 771 the moment you call, you immediately go to the pharmacist.
That's interesting.
Yep, just do that. That's a little tip for you all. Just if you work with Walgreens, fuck chatbots. Yeah, I also just think that it's irresponsible to have a chatbot talk about any healthcare thing just because the nuance of what my further radicalization of that is, I think all the fitness stuff is unhealthy too, because you can fuck yourself up overtraining so easily. And while we were walking out, Cory, from the Venetian earlier today, there were a bunch of these AI training things, and it's like, you'll fuck your shit. And I'm like, oh, we'll get your age and your weight, and that'll tell us everything. Not really. Mm-hmm. Oh, these fucking chat.
Well, I did. I went to a company called Smart Eye, who they have an optical recognition program, and it worked in that they had it read my eyes, and then when I walked in front of it in the future, it would identify me by the name I gave it, and the other people by the name they gave it. But the thing that it was meant for is, number one, like several products I saw at CES, if you are distracted, if you're looking at your phone, or if you fall asleep while driving, it will try to wake you up, or it will say, hey, look away from your phone. And I guess that could be useful. But the other side of it was, most of the products that I saw were built into these huge smart dashboards that were like giant screens in the front of the car. And we know that when people are manipulating a big screen in a car, they are as bad as a drunk driver, right? Sure. Yeah. And so it's like, well, you're offering a solution to the problem that was created by cramming unnecessary crap into cars. The other thing that they were showing is that we can see if you're drunk based on the way your eyes look, which they said they got a lady drunk on a closed track and had it identify her. And I have no way of evaluating whether this works, but people, when I posted a video of it, pointed out in the comments, I have this issue, right? With my eyes. I wonder if it's going to just call me drunk. And I kind of wonder, are we going to also see that certain people, groups of people of different ethnicities, they didn't test it widely enough, and so it just decides everyone of this ethnicity is drunk.
I mean, if you're a drunk American, if you're a drunk American, right, if that's your ethnicity,
wait a second,
which I am.
But also, people drive on the different side of the road, so their eyes would possibly look in different directions. And I always think, and I mentioned it earlier, Microsoft Kinect, which could not see black people. Quite literally, Better Off Ted. Anyone remember Better Off
no.
Ted? Great show. Literally, we see you.
And that was and I don't know that Smart Eye has this. I have, because I can't evaluate.
There's no way to.
I can't really. I did show up. I had ripped a shitload of my CBG joint, which is like hemp.
What is CBG?
It's one of the many different cannabinoids they figured out how to extract, and that's federally legal for the next couple of months. So I was high as hell, and I'd taken a shitload of my kratom pills, and it didn't notify that I was fucked up. But I wasn't drunk, so
you can drive on CBG and kratom.
yeah.
And it's fine.
And I should not have been driving.
Yeah, driving high is fine. That's not an issue.
I mean, if you take a little K, just get to the edge of the K hole when you're on the kratom.
Well, that's when I drive best. Yeah,
You can become the richest man in the world. Then.
I was going to say you can run.
It turns out you can use nitrous in multiple ways in your car.
Look, some of us may have done car nitrous before, and if so, as long as you don't do a double, it's safe.
Better Offline brought to you by Carmageddon.
Steve Jackson's Car Wars.
Jesus Christ.
That's a blast from the past.
Oh my God. No, they're doing a new Carmageddon now. It's going to be nice. Yeah, it's... I can't stop thinking of the eye thing now. It's really bothered me because that feels like there's... How would you possibly ever get enough data?
I don't. Look, that's the thing is they had a video of it recognizing a drunk person, but nothing that they had at the show. I cannot test.
They should just get every journalist rip shit and just to be like,
Well, there used to be bars at some of the and that's what they should have had. They should have been like, take 3 shots and get in front of this thing and see if it can tell. Like, that's responsible.
No, they should have like a driving simulator, and
they should
have like shots. And you should be able to go up, do some shots, get in the driving simulator, and see if it can tell if you're drunk driving.
Again,
this all sounds great.
This is why CES needs to be moved to Minneapolis, right?
No, absolutely not. In January? Are you insane?
Yeah, it's a great drunk driving city.
In January, it's going to be ice everywhere.
Well, there's currently ice
everywhere
all over right now in Minneapolis.
Literally is ice everywhere.
Oh, God. Yeah. No, they should move it somewhere more punishing, though. I agree. It's Vegas is too nice. Let's send this to fucking like Merced, California.
There we go. Like,
Black Rock Desert.
There we go.
No, that's too nice. You need
we
to
merged Burning Man and CES.
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
No,
Dallas
don't even joke about that.
Yeah, that would be to Orlando, Florida. We've got it. The most painful place in the world. The most. I'm not super spiritual, but that place is bathed in evil. And I live in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you live in Vegas. You have very little room to stand on.
I have a lot of experience.
I mean, if we're going to
I'm also
Florida,
from London.
How about Clearwater? Right, Clearwater.
There we go.
Key Industries,
go.
the world's headquarters for flexidisc manufacturing
Casey
and
Anthony.
Scientology.
Yeah, and to be honest, a lot of people don't like the culty aspects of FlexiDisc, but I think there's a lot of
What is
benefits.
FlexiDisc? What is that?
I don't know. Actually,
You ever buy a magazine that had a floppy printed 45 RPM record that you tore out of the magazine and put on your turntable?
No.
That is a FlexiDisc.
Well,
When was this a thing?
It was a thing from like the 50s through the early 2000s.
Really? Wow.
Garrison, that's basically like a CD-ROM, but big.
Oh, I got it. That makes sense.
I worked on one of
It's
them.
like a DVD for your ears.
That might be what finally broke me on this show.
I mentioned on an earlier installment of this that one of my Christmas gifts was this Olivetti typewriter, but one of my other Christmas gifts was a Mad magazine from 1981 with a FlexiDisc. Nice. It's the Great Big Beautiful Day FlexiDisc that had they recorded 8 different endings to the track, and they had in the groove, they had a hard stop that caused the needle to pop up, and it would land in one of 8 random tracks.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
That's actually cool as shit.
If that's cooler than anything I've seen at CES.
Hey, technically, based on the standards of CES, that's AI enabled. That's a smart.
It's a smart 45, smart FlexiDisc.
Yeah.
And actually quite literally more reliable than any LLM.
It's all on device, doesn't connect to the cloud.
right.
It's
That's right.
everything we've been looking for in products.
And it's customizable and user centric.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love this. This is the only company I respect that I've heard about this week.
I will say, in terms of good products we saw. Gary and I, we talked about this on our show. I talked about it in the first episode with you. There are a lot of exoskeleton products out that are a mix of, and often they're meant for both, but a mix of therapeutic for people who have different like disabilities where they might need the extra assistance offered, and also for like laborers, for people working, and I'm also like people doing working like factories.
I saw a shoe one that I didn't get to see.
Shoe ones. There's some upper body ones too.
Yeah, the hip ones.
And some they're now being also marketed as like this is really useful for people who are hiking, who are carrying, who are out in the woods, who are carrying weights. And we got to test one. They sent me. They gave me Hypershell. Gave me one of their units that retailed for about $2,000. They range from about $2,000 or about $1,000 to a couple of $1,000s, but the one we've got is about a $2,000 unit. Gary and I both wore it. I have some data on it, by which I mean I tracked how fast I was moving. I walked from the Venetian to the LVCC, and normally when I'm just walking and I'm not in a particular hurry, it's about a 19, 20-minute mile. If I'm just kind of like walking and not go, which is more or less normal. And my heart rate's usually between like 95 and like 103 or something like that if I'm like walking. And when I had the exoskeleton on, my pace was between 1530 and like 1620 as a general rule. And my heart rate was never more than like 1 or 2 higher than normal.
With the same amount of effort?
Yeah. Same amount of, like, again, my heart rate.
Yeah.
Was, like that's because really you can feel it like lifting your legs, basically. Like it is kind of moving you. I didn't have any less foot pain. Like by the end of the day, 14,000 steps or so, like my feet were sore because it doesn't do anything to your feet. But my knees didn't feel strained and my lower back didn't feel strained.
That's you know what
I found it pretty cool. Yeah,
I like this.
Yeah.
Like in a quite cynical CES.
Yeah.
I actually really love that these are everywhere. These are actually future tech that fucking rocks.
Yeah, I literally thanked the rep who had given them to me, not for giving me to them, but just like, thank you guys for bringing a real thing to the show.
Yes.
What happened when you went through the entrance metal detector?
It was fine. They didn't even notice it.
Really?
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Is it all like carbon fiber or something?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hypershell should let me have one.
I'm sure we can get you one.
I want to try
and
one.
Gary, you used it too. Similar response.
We talked about it like yesterday or 2 days ago on the show.
I think it's really cool that, like, again, I've been trashing the show with good fucking reason. But I like that they're doing this. I like that we're finally seeing, because that I've seen kind of like shreds of across the years, and they're everywhere in a show that otherwise should be shut down. Maybe not the entire thing, but
there is. That's part of what's frustrating is there are people doing innovative stuff. Like I've talked about the photonic muscles, right? Where it is like a device that replicates the way physical muscles work.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, where you shine a light and it causes it to constrict, and you can use it as like a motor, and it takes up less space than a motor. But they're not being like, and this is going to be in everything. They were like, we see this as having applications in different like automotive things for small motors, and it can make things lighter. And I was like, you've made something that's cool. And you're not promising this is going to be the future of everything. You're not trying to show me how this is a $3 billion industry. You're trying to be like, and now your car will be a little lighter, and this motor will break less often than the previous kinds of motors that were used in this application. I'm like, that's the thing. Thank you.
Garrett, you and Robert are different shapes to broadly.
I would say
were you
that.
able to wear the same exo, or were you wearing different exos?
Yeah, we are slightly different in size.
Hurtful.
The same exo.
Same exo.
So it has the back.
You can adjust it. Yeah.
The carbon fiber slides on both sides, so it can get wider for the hips. Yeah. I did have it at the smallest option, but I'm kind of. In terms of my hips, I'm kind of the smallest adult size there is.
One of nature's ectomorphs.
Yes, I am an ectomorph. And then the leg straps also have like some pretty strong nylon, so you can tighten in two places for it to go above your knee. I definitely, if I was considerably smaller, it may not have fit on as well. But like it's difficult because like I have like a very like twinkish form, like with some people who are like smaller than me. A twinkamorph, which is going to be in Ridley Scott's new Alien film. But no, like if certain people who are like smaller than me in a lot of ways might have bigger hips, it would fit on them fine. If someone's hips were considerably smaller than mine, then they might have a problem.
And
it worked. It worked for my size.
Yeah, and there is an app which gives you more control over the device
and
right?
the fitness mode.
You can control it all in the fitness mode. You can control it all with a button, but with the button, you're kind of like there's 4 levels, and with the app, you could be like, I wanted it 31% or whatever. So you have a little more adjustment ability.
And what does upping the power on it do?
You can feel it lifting your legs as you walk,
and it
so
feels
it's
like something
physically
under them.
lifting your body.
Is it like just turning your e-bike from 3 to 4?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
But it lifts your physical.
But it also, when you install it, you put in your weight and your height, and it will tell you this is probably where you want to adjust it. There's like numbers when you like widen it.
Right.
This is probably what will work best for your body.
I like that this actually
it's a good
works.
product. Yeah.
I wish more things were like that.
It's not $2,000 is not a casual purchase for most people, but it's not like insanely out of reach for a normal person.
And for a business,
and it's certainly reasonable for a business.
And
I think it's worth what they're charging.
Yeah.
They do have
if you need it.
Their last model from last year is like $1,000. Like this is their new pro version.
And this is a weird
which
thing.
is 2K.
I know that this is a weirdly optimistic thing. I can imagine them being cheaper in 2 or 3 years.
I'm sure they will be. Yeah.
And I think this is like $2,000 to be able to walk regularly when you can't.
Yeah.
Fucking
big
cool.
deal. Well, and the other thing that I'm working on, and I'm trying to get one of the companies that makes a full body, the upper body one too, because I
didn't see any of
experimented in
those.
putting on my body armor, like my bullet, my plate carrier, and my helmet, and I think that there's an opportunity to create your own like jerry-rigged power armor out of this. And like every American boy, all I've ever wanted to do is be a space marine. So I really do think there's a potential to do this.
So you could be Matt Damon in Elysium?
No.
No?
No.
I loved Elysium.
Space Marine.
Warhammer style.
Hams, yeah.
Do you know they have a fucking trademark they took out on Space Marine?
They sure did. They sure did.
I mean,
They took
Warhammer's
that, really?
cool, but fuck Games Workshop.
Oh, they're this is a whole separate cut, but like their attitude towards like intellectual property law has been crazy. Like for the last 30 years, there hasn't been any movies or TV, despite the massive demand for it, and they would sue anyone who created like fan ones. Like there was a German full-length fan movie that they like had scrubbed from the internet because the argument was that German intellectual property laws would mean that they would not have full control of their IP if they allowed this fan project to exist.
Which is, I mean, this is the trademark argument. It's a story that trademark lawyers tell their children when they're worried about not having enough money to pay for college. It's nonsense. This trademark genericization, genericide argument, it is bullshit.
But Games Workshop is otherwise kind of a cool company, I thought.
I mean, they pay people well, I think.
And they've got good lore.
Yeah, and they've
They
got
got
good
good
lore.
lore. They've got good minis.
They're a weird company. I'll say that.
I enjoy the fact also that they don't even try and romanticize any of it. They're just like, no, they fucking suck.
They bring enormous pleasure to Riley Quinn, who is a force for good on the
Riley, coming up, better offline. We're doing a thing with Trash Future. It's coming up in the future. That's me announcing it. That's all you're getting.
No, I love hams. We'll be launching a hams podcast this year. Hams. That's
what
that's what the kids call it.
What?
Hams.
What, just like the
Warhammer?
Oh, Warhammer.
Hams.
Sorry, for a
You're
second.
British. This is your culture.
Yeah, I did. I hung out like the one happy place in Hammersmith, London, where it was the local Games Workshop thing. I found the Space Marine game kind of shit though.
The new one?
Yeah, it was just repetitive.
good.
No orcs.
No. They
Orcless.
went with Tyranids and Chaos.
Orcs.
We'll get orcs.
I wanted like yobbo orcs, like so I could feel at home, like being beset with men going.
My favorite piece of Warhammer lore is that Games Workshop's orcs, which started out in fantasy and then when they created 40K and mitigated that, were initially largely created to be a parody of the Diggers.
As in,
Like the anarchists?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Like
What?
one of their games was specifically based on the coal mine protests during the Thatcher era, with orcs that were standing in for the different sides, including an orc that was like basically Margaret Thatcher. Like there was a large parts of early Warhammer lore were critiques of Thatcherism. Because it was a bunch of punks in the 80s who were angry about Margaret Thatcher. Wow. That's all been jettisoned long since.
Yeah.
But there is, in early games, like Games Workshop games, there's a lot of weird Margaret Thatcher references.
Yeah,
There is an alternative.
Awkward Thatcher. I love the idea that like. Well, I guess
New York.
Oh my god! No, I I really should have known that one, but no, the Diggers would have been just before my time. So 1986, I was born.
Yep.
So like just before that era. But I did grow up with two parents who were just like, yeah, Margaret Thatcher fucking sucks. Fuck Margaret Thatcher. We're all Neil Kinnock stands here. Well, we're going to rotate to our final rotation, our final half an hour. Whatever is coming up, you must look at it. You must listen to it. You must click it forever. Otherwise, this show will simply expire. Please subscribe to the newsletter too. We're going to an ad break, and then we'll be back for the final quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matusowski. Welcome back to Better Offline for the final core of our CES experience. That was the wonderful Mr. Matusowski.
I mean, that was fine, Ed, but what if instead of a human being, a chatbot had played guitar for you?
That's not just music, it's sound.
They make my favorite holiday song.
What is it?
The Coca-Cola Holidays Are Coming song, which has lyrics that really stick with me.
Yeah?
That include holidays are coming.
Wow.
Holidays are coming.
Are they?
Holidays are coming. Holidays are coming.
Fucking ominous.
It's a threat.
Whether you like it or not.
You've literally threatened me with a good time.
Yeah, I love the Coca-Cola ad where the truck changes size several times.
See, Ed, I'm glad you said that because we are going to make so much money by just cutting that audio out and having throwing that in as an ad of just Ed Zitron saying, "I love the Coca-Cola."
That's like the Homer Simpson thing. I love Coca-Cola. I love LLM.
My voice is my passport. Verify me.
You're real good at turning me on. Yeah, this is CES. We're here for the final. It's fine. CES this year has been so strange, and I mean this. Even the Metaverse CES, which was kind of like weird and
I miss the Metaverse CES.
I miss the Metaverse in general.
The good old days. Everything was so simple back then.
NFTs.
Oh my god, that was such a
but that was a weird CES because there was like not one in 2021.
No, it wasn't.
They did the virtual one.
2022 was their first CES, and Gary and I, thanks to the Metaverse, made a lifelong friend. For the last 4 years, every year we go to Morimoto's in MGM, which is we go to Morimoto's in MGM, which is a really good restaurant, with our friend Andrew, who is the CEO of Owlcat Games.
Nice.
Which is
Alchemy?
Alchemy Labs is part of. I think. Wait, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Alroca.
Shit, is it Alchemy?
It's Alchemy.
Alroca Games.
Sorry. Anyway. We go and we eat and we hang out because in 2022
we met in the metaverse.
Yeah, there was a metaverse party outside
the
Bellagio, where everyone showed up outside the Bellagio, and then at a certain time there was like a QR code that you scanned and you went into it wasn't even an app; it was an in-browser metaverse party.
Metaverse experience
that crashed immediately, and no one was able to use it.
It was supposed to sync up to the fountain, and nobody could get it to work. And the whole thing completely crashed. It was a massive dud.
And there were guys who worked for the company there who fled.
They left the scene.
They ran away.
Because
the real metaverse was the friends you made along the way.
That's right. It literally was. It quite.
So we went to the beer garden, which was across the street, and then we met Andrew, who now we have.
We met him. Yeah. Now we hang out.
And now we hang out every year at
the
CES.
Metaverse brings people together. This was Mark Zuckerberg's beautiful vision all along.
This was my first CES miracle, the first of many. But
and I love the idea of going outside the Bellagio fountains, like a very analog thing full of pistons that works beautifully.
I thought you were just going to say piss, but yeah, probably pistons too. Yeah.
I wonder. I don't think you can piss in there.
Oh, you can piss in anything.
I could. Oh, yes.
Let me rephrase this.
What?
I don't think you could piss in it without getting arrested.
No. You pee in a bottle and you just toss the bottle in.
You would get arrested for that. They would absolutely fucking
Not
come.
if you run.
One time I was watching those fountains and I watched them kill a bird.
They've got one of those Amazon surveillance masks.
We had dinner outside the Bellagio fountain a few years ago, and we talked about all the birds who were flying into the water stream.
And watched one just get,
yes.
just like because the fountains are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like they look like you see him on the video. Yeah. They're giant and they're just pistons and just a fucking endangered bird just bam.
When I taught special ed, because there were a bunch of different kids, and like one of my kids who I worked with was this kid who was like 17 years old, so he was about to graduate. He had at the time what they called Asperger's syndrome. Obviously, like that's not a diagnostic term now, but that's how I was introduced to him. And he was obsessed with pumps, with like water pumps for like fountains and stuff, and incredibly knowledgeable. He had self-taught himself and had gotten so good that he had just mailed to whatever company built the Bellagio fountains and builds a lot of fountains. Yeah. They're a fountain company. He had sent them schematics to designs that he had, and they were good enough that they flew the VP of the company out to tell him, like, when you graduate, apply to work with us. We will hire you.
Did he work there?
I have not, but this was 18 years ago. I hope so. He was not, he was in high school when I knew him.
Well, as an autist with oddly specific likes and dislikes, I fucking love that.
It's a beautiful story. He was a great kid.
And also, but no, you're right.
I hope he's still a great kid. I don't know.
This is the weirdest CES since the metaverse is CES.
It's so strange because go on.
Yeah.
No,
they're both they both have this hollowness to them.
Yes,
because at least last year AI was still like ascendant.
Exactly,
it was still going up. And
that's
now
exactly
it ascended, and now it's going down, and you can tell because the only thing they can imagine as like a new thing is combining these models, which haven't really improved the last year, really combining them with like kind of years old robotics.
It's on a ring.
This is the only new thing they have is combining two old technologies in a way that kind of makes it look new, but it really isn't.
And even Jensen Huang kind of felt like lost.
No, it's like absent and hollow in a way that I've only felt before while inside the metaverse, which is also absent and hollow.
You know what it needs though? It needs to be appreciated on a Segway because that was the truly transformative technology of 2002.
All of
we
this
were going to change the world with the Segway.
All of this on a Segway.
I don't even remember the last time I walked around without using a Segway.
Do you remember life before the Segway?
No.
I was born in 2002.
So you've only ever known a Segway.
Never known a time without Segways.
Garrison's feet have never touched the ground.
Yeah, it's just Segway to Segway. I've never been on a Segway, I'm going to be honest.
Oh man, it's like being on a Segway.
It's like standing but different. Like, I see the tours and I'm just like, I really look like a bell end. I don't need to. I don't need to emphasize this.
So Steve Wozniak used to play Segway polo, which is apparently the sport of kings.
My man, I am a British Polish guy. Do you understand how difficult it is to find a way to be more white than me? Like, Jesus Christ. Segway polo?
Segway polo.
I did meet.
I mean, Woz is also Polish. Yeah. I am also Polish. And also technically British. So,
Segway racquetball.
Ooh. Segway pickleball. Jesus Christ, kill me.
Segway technical.
What?
Segway technical. Put a gun on that sumbitch.
Someone has.
That's just when you're open carrying on a Segway. That's
the only way I ride.
That's just Texas, man.
My wife gave me a Tabasco holster for Christmas last year, and that is my open carry.
Nice. Yeah, I met Woz once, and you know what? He's one of the few tech people I've met who I wasn't just like revolted by.
He's a mensch. I met him once.
I sat down and I talked to him, and we talked for like half an hour, and he was like, you've got to try iCab. And I'm like, all right, what's he talking about? He's like, no, it's a shareware run by a single German developer. It's completely secure, and you can just give this random developer €25, and I took it.
What else does the app do though?
No, it's just a fucking working browser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just works. Yeah. Which is unusual for a browser that doesn't have. And I used it. I'm like, I need to ask a question. And I emailed the developer thinking, like, immediate response. Like, very sternly telling me that I wasn't using it correctly. But what the fuck is the internet for? And that browser is more useful than anything I've seen here. Garrison, I've been trying to find the words for this, but yeah, it's like last year it was, we're going to do AI, folks. You're excited about all the AI we're going to fucking do? But know, it's not there, but we're all excited. This year it's, fuck, God, you want a chatbot in your
AI
oven?
is in the physical world now.
It's the potential is always more interesting than the real thing.
Yeah.
This is why the right is only interested in potential babies, but not actual babies.
Because they're full of fucking... like, they make
actual
noise.
babies like want things and have agency, whereas babies that don't exist, imaginary babies in pizza parlor restaurants or women's uteruses, are worthy and important.
No, and it's the mix of AI is entering the physical world. This is going to be in everyone's house. Everyone is always going to be communicating with and listened to by one or more chatbots. That is the vision. And that is the vision that every time I talk to one of the people who works at these companies, especially the engineers and the C-suite people, every time I listen to them in a panel, the default assumption is you will never not be connected to some form of AI. You will always be listening, and everyone wants a chatbot that is always listening, that they can always talk to. And people do not want to use browsers. They do not want to use the internet. They do not. They want to have the digital world be entirely. And that was there were a couple of different points in the different panels I went to where people would express their belief that the internet now, we are making content specifically to be scraped by bots. Websites are to be visited by bots, not people.
Because the most important
the
most important thing is getting your article to get summarized in an AI, because no one's reading the actual article anymore. They're just reading either the Google summary or they're reading the ChatGPT summary, and so trying to like engineer for AI for AI to grab and use your content.
They're calling it generative search.
4 hours on Monday just doing marketing panels about AI and advertising.
Jesus Christ!
And
what was the term that they used for this?
which one?
For trying to do like search engine optimization.
That's what I'm building to. No. It was the term that they used was model hacking.
Model hacking.
Because in the, again, 4 hours of listening to people who were like C-suites, the CMO of Intuit, right? People who, and like one of Google's heads of marketing, the only specific, and there was one in all of these panels, specific of this is an AI augmented marketing plan that we executed. There was one specific example given in all of these, and it was the people who make Allegra wanted to really push the non-drowsy aspect of Allegra. So they used model hacking to ensure that whenever AIs were asked, what allergy medicine should I get, they were more likely to pull up Allegra and would always say that it's a non-drowsy Allegra. Allegra is a and also would insinuate, this was the other part of it, via model hacking, they got the chatbots to start insinuating that other allergy meds would make you drowsy. And I was like, that's the one example.
Have we replaced SEO with model engine optimization?
That is my takeaway.
That's exactly. Is this all meow?
Jesus fucking God, fuck. There's another term, but now I'm calling it meow.
And it's model engine optimization for the web, right? Meow.
Nice. I mean, that's a very classic.
And that was when I got to what is the actual, because everyone would say AI is supercharging the way that we do advertising and marketing. It's completely changed the game. That was the actual specific, is that we are basically replacing SEO with model hacking, right? With meow.
But the thing is,
that's it. That's the idea they've got.
And people doomsay about this a lot, but it's like, oh no, we're going to start changing articles to appeal to a shadowy algorithm. What could possibly happen? Oh, it's like we're in a regression. It's like, oh, what is the big new hot thing? Chatbots? There were knowledge management systems doing this crap 10 years ago or more.
They've got data, and I some of the data I can say is very inconsistent and they're not representing it accurately. Some of the data, I don't know fully how viable those studies are, but the data does suggest that especially Gen Z people are very commonly using ChatGPT when they're trying to make purchases.
Right. It's just new SEO.
Right. And so at the moment, it does seem as if there is value for advertisers, and you can, in fact, drive sales this way, right?
That's my question. Is it driving sales or clicks? Because as many news outlets find, those are not the same thing.
They are not.
They are convinced that it's driving sales.
Do we all know Gresham's law?
I don't.
So bad currency drives out good. So Gresham's law dates back to when Newton was the exchequer, and there was enormous debasement of the currency. And so people would like shave down coins. They would sweat them.
Clipping.
They would clip them. And what would happen
is clipping? I'm sorry.
It's where you literally clip a piece off the coin.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Like pieces of 8, you were literally could break into 8.
Society is so cool.
So you have this debased currency in the stream of commerce, and if you are passed a bad note, the thing that you want to do is, or a bad coin rather, is pass it on to someone else, because if you're holding on to it, then it's worthless. And so people preferentially spend bad money and they hoard good money. And so the bad money eventually takes over the economy.
But what does this manifest in this way?
So in this case, what you have is the bad driving out the good. So if you have a good product that you just list and you put on your website, or if you have factual information. I mean, one way that we express it more recently is the truth is paywalled and the lies are free. Right? The bad drives out the good over and over again. On Amazon's so-called advertising network, where they're so when I wrote the chapter in Shitification about Amazon advertising, which is where they auction off search results, that was a $32 billion a year business. It went to a $58 billion business. It is on target to be over a $70 billion business. It is worth 3 times the annual revenue of all newspapers in the world.
And awesome.
The winner of the auction for Amazon search results is the company that spends the most on search result placement, which means that they have less money to spend on either fair pricing or product quality, or both. So the top results on Amazon are always going to be the worst products, either the most expensive or the worst quality, or both. And we are living through an era of Gresham's law, right? The bad drives out the good over and over and over again.
I think what's funny is you're completely right. I was sound like an LLM there, but it's like no, but
and I'm very smart for saying it.
You're not just right. You're smart, but it's
and that snazzy blazer makes you look powerful.
And it's also fleek.
Have you considered having a Coca-Cola with vanilla? I think that you might really benefit from some Coca-Cola with vanilla right now.
I heard you sniffle. It's non-drowsy. Kyle and I both there in the same moment, mate. But it's also it's the ultimate point of that with these LLMs. It's like we've reached the precipice where it's like we can control the search engine, the results, the everything. Yeah. Except they attached it to the one thing that you're not meant to do with a search engine, which is make it expensive. It's just a fucking...
Well, I mean, but what they see is the utility here. Like I've talked a bit about SoundHound's Booth. This is a company that makes AI agents that are largely meant to drive sales for other people. But one of the things I didn't bring up that the representative very excitedly told me is that they are making deals with different manufacturers, with different companies, with hotels, with restaurants, and they are putting for their like in-app car assistant, they have their own map instead of Google Maps or instead of Apple Maps, and it will direct you to like you can basically the way it will be said is it will only direct you to places they have a financial relationship with, right? So if you want a restaurant, it will put forward restaurants that have paid them and will suggest restaurants or a mechanic that has paid them. It will suggest when you go, if you say, oh, what is this problem with my car? And it'll tell you, oh, you need to replace this belt. I'll book you an appointment at the dealership.
Jiffy Lube.
Right. Would you like to do a test drive of a new car? And like, so there's no... That is what they want. They want a world where every time anyone uses a map app, it's owned by somebody who is basically, if you say I need to go to the nearest gas station, it is instead marketing you. This is the gas station. We have a deal with the company.
So
right?
I published a story where this was the plot in 2005. It was called Human Readable. It was published in an anthology by Ernest Lilly called Future Washingtons. It's been reprinted many times since. Like. Cyberpunk is a warning and not a suggestion.
Yeah.
The Torment Nexus. We're bringing it back.
You say that, but I mean, the Cyberpunk I was raised on was Shadowrun. And I do feel like if I had a troll friend with a machine gun, a lot of my problems would go away.
I also agree, but I will say... none of this works. Like, this is I understand. And you're completely right.
Separately from a troll with a machine gun.
No, the troll with a machine gun would work flawlessly. I actually think it would solve many of the problems I have with this current CES. Almost immediately. But the important thing to say is these are necessary fears and discussions. that do not exist and cannot exist with LLM technology. They don't work. They do not work.
And there's so little thought about the seams, right? Like when I was talking to that guy about their map that sends you to places, I was like, well, what if I'm in like a country, because he talked about it'll work in other countries. And like, what if I'm in a country that you have no deals with any of the businesses there, right? Like, because there's a lot of countries and that's
fly home.
Or what if I'm in the middle? I live out in the sticks. What if I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? And he was confused, and it took him a while to like figure out an answer because he kept saying like, well, again, like we partner with. I was like, what if you're not partnered with anyone in this town?
Yeah,
because it's a small town. And his answer was, I'm sure it'll be able to like pull up companies that we haven't like set up an arrangement with. And I was like, out of what database? Where? He had clearly no one, and it became clear to me, no one at SoundHound had ever thought about that.
No, that's because like
CES.
Like my mom's from
And
like
it's a map app.
Like
it feels like it should just do that.
It's for going places.
Like my mother's from like a very small town in like rural Canada in the middle of like Saskatchewan, where it's just like prairies and farm towns, and there's not like big companies. It's all like locally owned, like small.
No, Saskatchewan is like Canadian Texas.
Yeah, it's like Alberta. Is it just not going to be able to help me navigate anywhere if I'm like driving to go see my family for Christmas and I need to like find like a gas station?
No, it'll tell you there's a great gas station that we have an arrangement with 1,600 miles away. You should go there. The gas is it's worth the trip.
It just says fly home, fly back to
leave immediately.
But that's the funny thing. This is like a classic CES theme as well. It's just like the Chloe Radcliffe. Yeah, but why? Or why does this matter? Or who cares? And they look at you like they are experiencing latency.
I went to the
Waymo
no,
they
booth.
do. It looks like they're like loading.
Yeah. They're not expecting anyone to not want this.
This is the fucking fault of the tech press.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is the funniest part about walking through with you, Cory. Because you'll ask like very basic like data privacy questions, and they'll just like look at you kind of confused for a second.
They are not ready for Cory Doctorow swag. Like,
I mean, my questions are pretty basic. It's like, where's the data held? Where's that? Like, can I change the battery?
Computer.
It's very simple. Like
again,
all of like the battery questions, and then they'll like eventually say, no, you can't change the battery, and they'll look kind of disappointed in themselves, and it's like, oh well.
We talked to this woman who had a dog like companion for old folks, which was a relatively.
It was fine.
It was an innocent product.
Yeah,
but like
Jenny, it was called.
She sat there and was like, yeah, I just think that if I see a doll on the ground, I pick it up. We need to train people to respect these things.
It was a little Marie Kondo-ish, like you should apologize to your socks.
But she was suggesting that like we need to start treating AI better. And I would like to start this year by saying we need to start treating AI worse. We need to, you see a fucking AI thing wants me to anthropomorphize it, I'm going to show it.
Yeah, the Waymo is waiting to go straight and you're waiting to make a left turn. Fuck the Waymo.
Yeah,
the Waymo will defer to you.
I am updating the Herman Goering quote to when I hear the word chatbot, I reach for my gun.
Yeah,
like that's where I am.
Edo and I had a funny event where we were walking along as the trade floor was shutting down, and we passed by this booth. And I saw on their very weird sign the phrase differential privacy, which is a subject I'm very interested in. It's an abstruse mathematical way of making data that might be non-private more private. And so I stopped and said, tell me about your differential privacy. And the guy was like, you know about differential privacy? And I'm like, I know a lot about differential privacy. And then he proceeded to explain his product, which was the most incoherent nonsense I've ever heard. And they were doing so-called federated learning, so there's no federated learning. And eventually, like it transpired, they want to take robot dogs and use it for facial recognition to find people who are brawling in public.
This is just Mad Libs. This is just Mad Libs.
That's the definition of differential privacy, though, Cory.
It was genuinely nuts.
Just this a bit. What does differential privacy mean?
So there's this problem with data sets that you've de-identified. So say you've got like a record of everyone in a territory who's had interacted with the hospital system, and you replace their names with a number. And you give it to medical researchers and you say, go find like correlates. Go find out like what two factors correlate. Like people who get pneumonia are more likely to have had a fall or something.
Right.
And the problem with that is that it's very easy to re-identify these de-identified data sets. So Ben Goldacre, who has done the most important work on this in the United Kingdom, always points out that Tony Blair had 2 heart surgeries while he was in office. We know what dates he had those heart surgeries. We know how old he was when he had them. So if you have a data set of a de-identified data set of all of the NHS data, you can find Tony Blair. You just say, find the person who is this age, who had these 2 heart procedures on these dates, and that's Tony Blair, and you can follow him through history right up to this moment.
Nice.
And differential privacy injects noise into these data sets, and there's a kind of very elegant set of mathematics that I do not understand that can allow you to quantify how hard it will be to re-identify someone based on how much false information you've injected into the data set. And the more false information you inject, the less useful that information is, but the more...
so it's like a balancing act between injecting stuff to de-anonymize it. To anonymize it.
And so I mean, it's a thing I'm interested in. As I was saying to Ed O, there's a lot of wish casting here. People would really like de-identification to work, because then you could do a lot of things that would otherwise be really shitty and make people angry.
Yeah.
You could just say, oh, no, we're respecting your privacy. It probably doesn't, it's probably the case that in most applications, de-identification doesn't work even with differential privacy. But it's like, when I see the words differential privacy, I
just feel it's a very specific thing to not be doing. And you're like, oh, yeah, what are you actually doing? What if a robot could see a person? We could chase some black people.
This is basically what it was about.
Yeah. That's really where it was. It's like, how do we chase down people of color?
I mean, this is why I prefer the booth that's in the same section, maybe a few booths over in Central Hall, which is, I think it's a South Korean company called Dreamy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, with 2 E's. Yeah.
But their motto is all dreams in one dream.
Hell yeah.
That fucking
beautiful. Beautiful.
This actually reminds me, I've got some really good names. Mr. Cool, Dr. Boss, Astrocitus, Pet Goo Goo, Plant Emoji, Yangaroo, fucking just FK.
I was a legitimate fan of a company.
FK something and fucking Tapo. Let's see. I've got more. There's more.
I think what's so representative over this, I think it's so representative of this whole CES and the whole current AI smart moment is just all dreams in one dream. Really,
all dreams in one dream.
All dreams in one dream.
It gets to the point.
You wanted
so
to have a
direct.
wedding ring, but what if your wedding ring could tell you how to make thermite?
Here's a good one.
Also, the wedding ring tells you if you're stressed or calm.
Yeah, you want someone to watch your kid. What if that person could tell your kid how to hang themselves?
So here's a nice one that is for an app, but could be for Lockheed Martin. Make your inside outside.
Oh,
hey,
pretty good. And that's for a company called Wow Now.
Cyberspace is emerging.
Sounds good. I love the, and they're usually foreign companies who did not think about some of the implications of their branding or their American name. There was one booth I saw, and I don't know what the company did, but I took a picture of it because it just said, making it easier to edge with AI. And there was and I talked about it. They had a legitimately good product. It's like
AI-enabled Goon Cave.
Yeah, AI-enabled Goon Cave.
Well, I mean,
that exists here, by the way.
No, I wrote down the phrase "sexless Goon Cave" while here, and that.
Now we're gonna have AI, and they're gonna be fucking and sucking.
But I feel like CES is the sexless Goon Cave. It's just a bunch of activity.
Oh, people are fucking at this CES. That robot with the
handy
beer bottle.
Yeah, no, there's a robot with a fleshlight attached.
Oh,
that's nice.
And so the chatbot will talk to you as you have sex with it.
One of the best bits I ever saw at Burning Man was this: someone
bits you're gonna have to be eaten.
Someone hung a fleshlight from a signpost that said public fleshlight.
Yeah.
And it was clearly not intended for use. It was just
public
a bit.
Fleshlight.
But this dusty, kind of clanging, pendulous fleshlight just waving back and forth in the wind and the dust storms.
If I saw anyone walking up, I'd be like, "Oh, are you gonna go? You're gonna go?"
No, you want to wait just to see if they do.
That would have been a better bit. Would have been fucking the public fleshlight. But the public fleshlight, it's unto itself was the photo op of all photo ops.
I just like the idea. If you see anyone walk up to it, you're like, "Oh, can I? Do you want to go? Yeah, no, you first. I insist."
I was gonna send this episode to my grandma.
I talked about my
get you fired from your talking about fleshlights on a podcast job.
I just want to be clear that the one of them where I talked about my dad's horny level from last year. I mentioned it again, and it was the episode my father listened to.
That's good.
And he has not brought it up. He just said he liked the episode.
Listen,
so that's going to be...
Dad, very rarely on podcasts do we talk about your libido.
No.
Privately, a lot. Yes. I honestly, Ed texts me almost daily about it.
Just as nothing
weird
today, nothing today, Robert.
Yeah.
Just no feelings. Just completely empty. No, that's...
My favorite burn art project, Cory, was at the regional Texas burn flip side. Someone built a giant bug zapper that was like a big, like rectangular prism, and that had a bunch of, so it was all metal and it was all electric, and there were a bunch of like different little alcoves in it that had like whippets or joints or little bags of drugs. So in order to get drugs, you had to like navigate your way in and get electrocuted.
That is
great.
Actually...
That is kind of what it feels like to be at CES.
Yeah.
Well, like trying to get to like anything worthwhile, but it's just like
Just getting zapped.
this LLM thing. Or, oh God. Well, as we wrap this up, I have to thank everyone in this room. Robert, Garrison from It Could Happen Here, Behind the Bastards. You've been incredible. The support of everyone here. Chouinard from the Las Vegas Sun. I was about to say the New York Sun, which is a newspaper that collapsed when I was moving to this country.
And at one point, claimed that they'd found life on the moon.
And that's why they got shut down.
Hoax.
They got shut down for fired for truth. I think no, that's a different guy. No, we've been doing so well. Of course, Edward Ongweso Jr. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me.
I truly love you all. You've done an incredible job, and all of you listeners have done one too. And thank you to Matasowski, the producer of the hour, the guitarist. Philip Broughton, our incredible bartender. He will be here for our epilogue tomorrow. Thank you to every single guest we've ever had. We're also dedicating these episodes to Sean Paul Adams, friend of the show, passed sadly last year. Please donate to the Pediatric Epilepsy Research Consortium. And Cory Doctorow, of course, thank you for joining us for today.
Ed.
You've been awesome. Thank you for helping us terrorize people.
Vielen Dank.
Yeah, it's been really great. We'll be back next year, and of course, we'll be back next week. Got Steve Burke coming on talking about some CES stuff and Gamers Nexus. This is an incredible show, and we've changed the definition of what a tech podcast could be. Almost said codpast. Just going to move right past that.
Changing the definition again.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, God, I love doing this show. Yeah. Thank you all so much. You'll get an epilogue tomorrow. It'll be a little more chill, but we are out.
Thanks to the city of Las Vegas.
Thank you.
With this
we're not in the city of Las Vegas. We're in the county of Las Vegas. We're definitely
Clark County.
Well, Clark County, right. We've established the city of Las Vegas is a area you've never been to on the other side of the airport, full of houses. Well, this is not a city. This is unincorporated LA
thanks
County.
To the Las Vegas Strip, which has, I would say, less vomit and trash cans than last year.
Yeah,
you know,
and
fewer.
And yeah, I'm truly out of thanks to give, but thank you to the listeners who've come with us for this 20-hour adventure. We will be back next week, and we'll be back next year as well. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Better Offline. The editor and composer of the Better Offline theme song is Matt Osowski. You can check out more of his music and audio projects at matosowski.com. MATTOSOWSKI.com. You can email me at easy@betteroffline.com or visit betteroffline.com to find more podcast links and, of course, my newsletter. I also really recommend you go to chat.where'syourEd.at to visit the Discord and go to r/betteroffline to check out our Reddit. Thank you so much for listening.
Better Offline is a production of Cool Zone Media. For more from Cool Zone Media, visit our website, coolzonemedia.com, or check us out on the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.